An abandoned baby found in a bag in Georgia back in June. A tragic circumstance, but a positive outcome as this baby's cries were heard. She was saved, but that's not always the case. We may never know if Baby Doe was crying when he was left in an abandoned car in West Toledo wearing this. He was found dead, cold and alone. Over 2 years later, Baby Doe is still cold and alone.
I don't think the citizens of Lucas County actually realize that this child is still frozen in the morgue. And when they find this out, I think they're going to be appalled.
Abandoned as a baby herself, Monica Kelsey has some strong opinions on what needs to happen for Baby Doe.
This little guy needs to be buried. He needs to have a proper burial and be laid to rest.
In May of 2017, here on Van Ness Drive off Bancroft, a shocking discovery was found. A 2-month-old baby wrapped in a blanket, found lifeless. The decomposing body was found in this car.
And how did that baby come to be in that car on that day? How long was it there? Who put it there? How did it come to be there? You know, those are unanswered questions.
Another unanswered question for one nonprofit group is, why is the baby, who was left cold and alone, still cold and alone, still sitting frozen at the morgue over 2 years later? Linda Zanacco, founder of Indianapolis-based He Knows Your Name.
I don't ever want a baby to be left in a morgue unnamed and their life not celebrated. You know, I just find that really sad.
Linda's nonprofit has essentially adopted 20 deceased abandoned babies from 4 different states. She's given them names and laid them to rest, dressing them in a gown, wrapping in a blanket, and providing a funeral service.
And I've been tracking this story for 2 years, and I just have this baby in my heart, and I will not rest until this baby is named. I just find, you know, Baby Doe is absolutely unacceptable to me.
Lucas County Coroner Dr. Scala Barnett would not go on camera, but says she will not allow Linda, at this point, to name and bury Baby Doe.
Yes, Jesus loves me.
Ohio Revised Code gives time limits on collecting evidence from an unidentified body, but doesn't give a time limit on the coroner's right to custody of the body.
The fact that we've allowed one person to make a decision on somebody's, life, essentially, I mean, where he's going to be laid, we need to have something on the books stating how long this little guy can be there, because obviously the coroner is going to leave this baby there as long as she seems fit.
Dr. Barnett says they did collect DNA evidence from Baby Doe, but is concerned about its viability since the baby was found so badly decomposed and the investigation hasn't revealed anyone to compare that DNA to yet.
I say that's a load of crap. If they need more evidence from this body, then take it. But leaving this baby frozen in the morgue should be appalling to the citizens of Lucas County.
Keeping the baby at the morgue maybe isn't the best thing, but it's better than maybe the alternative.
The alternative, burying the body, then having to exhume the body.
You know, we've had to exhume bodies before, and that is really, really unpleasant.
So as far as like her trying to delineate this baby, as far as she needs to hold on to this baby because of how badly it was decomposed, you wouldn't say that that's any different than any other situation you've had?
No, absolutely not.
Linda says over 2 years is the longest she's ever had to wait to lay an abandoned baby to rest. She respects Dr. Barnett's process, but doesn't agree, even saying recognizing the death in a funeral service could breathe new life into the cold investigation.
It's very interesting for me that when I have done funerals and communities and neighborhoods of people come forward to participate in this service.
You know, when this baby was found, everyone in Lucas County knows that this child was disrespected by his mother. And now this child is getting no respect from the coroner, allowing this child to be buried.
You brought it to my attention. I appreciate that. And we're going to do everything we can to try to get some answers in the next few months,
including getting her own investigators to take a second look at the homicide investigation.
I just feel like there's got to be a time period where they just find that they've waited long enough.
Linda says if and when she is able to adopt Baby Doe in death, The infant will be buried in this county at her expense, and the coroner's office will know right where he is. But no longer cold and alone, given a warm funeral service, wrapped in a blanket, and he'll have a name.
You know, this little guy was 2 months old. He had life. Let's celebrate those 2 months that he was here.
The Bible tells me so.
Now, I did just speak with an investigator on this case. He says, contrary to what the coroner told me, Baby Doe's DNA has been used for comparison. It was used to rule out the family that lives in the home where the car was parked, where Baby Doe was discovered. I also reached out to the Ohio Attorney General's office. It will not comment on an open investigation.